Teenage deaths from taking so-called party drugs seem to have become a regular occurrence. The weekend before last, a teenager tragically lost his life after taking drugs at a dance party in Sydney. 3 months earlier, a 19-year-old girl died after taking ecstasy at a music festival. Sniffer dogs are the primary police response in trying to stop drugs getting into festivals. But some doctors say that's not working, and they want pill testing introduced at music events so partygoers know exactly what they're taking. Monique Shafter reports.
This was the scene from just over a week ago at a dance party called A State of Trance. Among this crowd of 16,000 ravers were two young brothers from Sydney's northwest. They came to lose themselves in the music and have a good time. But things went horribly wrong when one of the brothers, aged 19, collapsed on the dance floor. He was rushed to hospital but died from a suspected drug overdose.
As a result of drug taking at that dance party, a 19-year-old male died, and a 20-year-old male is currently in a critical but stable condition at Westmead Hospital.
His older brother was one of 5 others taken to hospital that night. He was later discharged. Police are investigating claims they were competing in a game of who could take the most drugs.
Shocking isn't the word, idiotic I think is the word. Like I said, these people were gambling with their life. It's just absolute stupidity. Really, there's no word for it.
Police arrested 3 people for supplying drugs at the rave, and 40 others were charged with drug possession and other offences. Just 3 months earlier, 19-year-old Georgina Barter died from taking ecstasy at Sydney's Harbour Life Festival.
Georgina Barter from Longueville on Sydney's North Shore collapsed suddenly, with friends reportedly telling police she took just 1.5 pills.
Research found 7% of 18 to 19-year-olds had taken ecstasy in the previous year. A survey of 1,000 ecstasy users showed 70% of these pills are taken at festivals, dance parties and clubs.
Whether we like it or not, drug taking is part of experimenting with the world, which young people always have done and always will do.
Paul Mack is an Australian dance music pioneer. He made headlines in the mid-90s for thanking ecstasy dealers when accepting an ARIA award for Best Dance Release. It was so controversial, this censored version is all that remains.
So, and all the DJs who play at all the public radio stations, all the ravers, all the everybody, thank you very much.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, techno and drugs do go really well together, and that's why it has happened for so many years, and that's why people continue to do it. Despite sniffer dogs, despite everything, there is no evidence that people are taking less drugs at festivals. It's fun. It's dangerous, it's fun, it works with the music, that's why people do it.
The police strategy is to try and stop drugs from getting past the gates at festivals using sniffer dogs.
All that we can do is to keep on running drug dog operations, because drug dog operations saves lives. They really do.
One of Australia's leading voices in drug law reform, Dr. Alex Wodak, says drug dogs don't work.
They're not a deterrent. We know that because the use of drug dogs in New South Wales has been increasing, and while it's been increasing, the proportion of young people carrying drugs has actually gone up.
Some partygoers say they have strategies to get around sniffer dogs.
Is it unrealistic to think that people would, stop taking drugs to festivals?
Yeah, no doubt. It's unfeasible. Like, they'll either just eat them before they go or sort of as they're walking in. Everyone talks about it a lot before they get there. And there tends to be a little bit of preparation just depending on whether or not you're taking stuff in for later in the day or if you do have a joint or two or whatever. So like a lot of the time people I know and myself would probably send 1 or 2 people in before us without anything and then get them to send out a text, report back sort of thing.
There's no such thing as a party or recreational drug. You know, that's a convenient term created by people who want to advertise its use or make its use more saleable. You know, these drugs are dangerous. There's nothing recreational about them, and they kill people, and we see those results.
The young people who are consuming these products don't really care for a message that seems to be based in the 1950s. You consume alcohol at an extraordinary rate. The idea of a drug-free Australia is ludicrous. And so what we need to do is to, rather than concentrate on making sure that people don't consume drugs, that they don't get hurt when they choose erroneously to consume drugs. This could easily have killed somebody.
Yeah. Dr. David Caldecott monitors the drugs that come through hospital emergency departments.
If a patient presents to the emergency department as a consequence of intoxication and they have product in their possession, we test it very quickly and find out what it is.
In this laboratory, they're also testing for unknown contaminants which can kill.
It allows us to release information to consumers in real time and to prevent further people getting hurt.
He wants to take this drug testing technology to music and dance festivals.
All around Europe there are programs in place where drug checking occurs very regularly, to the extent, say, for example, in Switzerland, where they bring a shipping container worth of analytical equipment to some of the biggest raves in Switzerland for the purposes of identifying drugs straight from the consumer and feeding back directly to the consumer.
Your drug checked a few moments ago.
Yes.
What was the result?
The result was 39% cocaine and 42% ferritin. It's a painkiller.
So it's not good?
Not really good, no.
So what are you going to do with it?
We're going to throw it away. We are not going to use it.
We know for a fact that when there is a pill testing program in place, that consumers actually change their behaviour. If the result of a test on a pill is something other than what they thought it would be, they frequently elect to abandon taking that pill. And we have the opportunity to let them know and interface with them about how they can moderate their behaviour.
Advocates of pill testing say it may also lead to drug dealers changing their behaviour.
What happens is when people find out they've bought some dangerous drugs, they go back to the dealer and demand their money back. And that message gets transferred up the line, and so it puts pressure on the people who are manufacturing these products to make sure that they're manufacturing less dangerous rather than more dangerous chemicals.
It's not an approach we will take. You know, the drugs are illegal. I mean, the bottom line is it's illegal, and we will enforce the law.
Despite resistance from police, advocates are pushing for a pill testing trial.
I too briefly flirted with the dance scene, and I have great affection for people involved. I don't think that their deaths are a good lesson to other users. So for me, it's to stop young people who I have an affinity for from dying.